From the rugged deserts of North Africa to the muddy fields of Normandy, Britain brought a wide and evolving arsenal of armored vehicles to World War II. Some were slow and heavily armored infantry tanks. Others were fast cruiser tanks designed to outmaneuver the enemy, and many were experimental concepts that pushed engineering limits. In this video, we present a complete catalog of the most important British armored vehicles used in World War II. The tanks, cruisers, self-propelled guns, and armored carriers that defined Britain's armored warfare doctrine. Infantry tanks, the slow-moving steel walls of the British Army. Matilda I, infantry tank Mki, Britain's first infantry tank of World War II. Armed with only a .303 Vickers machine gun, the Matilda I was designed to be a mobile pillbox, supporting infantry rather than fighting tanks. Its thick armor, up to 60 millimeters, made it nearly invulnerable to early German anti-tank guns during the Battle of France. However, its low speed and lack of a proper cannon limited its battlefield value. Matilda II, the true workhorse of early British armor. Armed with a 2-pounder gun, the Matilda II combined exceptional armor protection with decent firepower for 1940. In North Africa, German troops nicknamed it the Queen of the Desert because the Afrika Korps' early weapons struggled to penetrate it. Its weaknesses? Slow speed and lack of high explosive shells. Infantry tank Mk3 Valentine, one of Britain's most produced tanks, with over 8,000 built. Reliable, compact, and easy to manufacture, the Valentine served from 1941 to 1945 across nearly every front. Early models mounted the 2 PDR, but later versions upgraded to the 6-pounder and eventually the 75 mm gun, giving it respectable firepower even late in the war. Churchill tank, one of the most iconic and versatile British tanks of World War II. The Churchills featured extremely thick armor, excellent climbing ability, and an exceptionally stable gun platform. Variants carried the 6-pounder, 75 mm, or in the Mk7, even thicker armor exceeding 150 mm. Special variants included Churchill AVRE, firing a 290 mm spigot mortar. Churchill Crocodile, a flamethrower tank feared by German infantry. Slow but incredibly tough, the Churchill remained in frontline service until the end of the war. Cruiser tanks, fast, mobile tanks built to exploit breakthroughs. Cruiser tank Mki-A9, one of Britain's first cruiser tanks. Armed with a 2-pounder gun, it featured thin armor but high mobility. Its unusual dual machine gun turrets gave it a distinctive, if outdated, appearance. The A9 saw action in France and the Western Desert. Cruiser tank Mk2-A10, a heavier version of the A9, with thicker armor but still using the same 2 PDR gun. The A10 fought in France, Greece, and North Africa, though it struggled against newer Axis armor. Crusader tank, Cruiser Mk6, the signature British cruiser tank of the early Desert War. Fast, agile, and armed with a 2 PDR, later upgraded to 6 PDR. The Crusader formed the backbone of British armored brigades during Operation Crusader and the battles of 1941 to 42. However, its mechanical reliability issues were notorious in the desert environment. Cromwell tank, Cruiser Mk8, Britain's most successful cruiser tank of World War II. Powered by the powerful Rolls-Royce Meteor engine, the Cromwell was one of the fastest tanks of the war, capable of over 60 kilometers per hour on roads. Armed with a 75 mm gun, it offered a balanced combination of speed, armor, and firepower. Cromwell's spearheaded the British breakout from Normandy and the rapid advance across France. Comet tank A34. The Comet represented the peak of British wartime tank design. armed with the formidable 77mm HV gun, a shortened version of the 17-pounder. The Comet could penetrate Panthers and Tigers at combat ranges. It entered service late in 1944 and set the design foundation for the post-war Centurion. Specialist in tank destroyers. Archer, self-propelled 17-pounder. A unique tank destroyer mounting the devastating 17 PDR anti-tank gun on a backwards-facing Valentine chassis. Crews would fire, then drive forward to retreat instantly. An unconventional but effective tactic. The 17 PDR could penetrate nearly any German tank, including the Tiger and Panther. Achilles, M1017 PDR SP. An American M10 tank destroyer upgraded with the British 17-pounder. This made the Achilles one of the most effective Allied tank killers of the entire war. It played a crucial role in Normandy and the push across Europe. Firefly, Sherman 17 PDR variant. The legendary Sherman Firefly mounted the powerful British 17-pounder gun in an American Sherman. The Firefly was capable of destroying Tigers and Panthers at long range, something standard Sherman struggled with. German tank crews were trained to target Fireflies first due to their lethality. Self-propelled artillery. Bishop 25 PDR SPG. A Valentine-based self-propelled gun carrying a 25-pounder howitzer in a tall, boxy superstructure. Cramped and limited in elevation, but essential in giving armored units mobile artillery in North Africa. Sexton 25 PDR SPG. Built in Canada, based on the Ram tank chassis, and armed with the reliable 25 PDR gun. The Sexton became the standard British self-propelled artillery piece from 1943 onward and proved more effective than the Bishop. Armored cars. Daimler armored car. One of the most advanced Allied armored cars, featuring a 2 PDR gun, 4-wheel drive, and excellent mobility. Highly effective for reconnaissance, screening, and rapid response. Humber armored car. Produced in large numbers and widely used in Europe and the desert. Armed with a 15mm or 37mm gun, depending on variant. It served as the standard recon vehicle for many British units. Universal carrier and support vehicles. Universal carrier, Bren carrier. The most produced armored vehicle in history after the Soviet T-34. Used for transporting infantry, towing guns, carrying machine guns, and performing reconnaissance. Simple, reliable, and incredibly versatile. Over 100,000 were built. Churchill AVRE, Assault Vehicle Royal Engineers. Designed for breaching fortifications. Armed with a 290mm spigot mortar, nicknamed the Flying Dustbin, capable of demolishing concrete bunkers with a single shot. A crucial asset on D-Day. Heavy and experimental vehicles. Tortoise Heavy Assault Tank, A-39. A massive late-war prototype featuring a 94mm high-velocity gun and extremely thick armor. It never saw combat, but demonstrated Britain's pursuit of heavy assault vehicles for breaking fortified lines. From the lightly armed Matilda I to the fast Cromwell, the devastating Firefly, and the engineering brilliance of the Churchill series, Britain's World War II armored forces were a blend of innovation, necessity, and adaptation. Their vehicles may not have been the most glamorous or heavily armed in the war, but they were reliable, practical, and above all, decisive in the Allied victory.